Okay, good evening, friends. Uh, Today we are going to discuss the difference between iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone X. So, do you want to buy iPhone? Do you want to know the difference between the same? I will definitely help you out. This video definitely really help you to buy a real iPhone which you want to buy, which model you want to buy. Okay, there is now good availability for Apple's new iPhones, but despite the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone X sharing many of the same features, there is massive 40% price difference between the cheapest and the most expensive models. So, what are the big difference between the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone X? Which should you buy? If any style, font, weight, okay? So let's break it down. Display, the past versus the future. The obvious starting point when comparing the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone X is the display. iPhone X 5.8 inch 19:5:9 aspect ratio, True Tone OLED. Okay. iPhone 8 4.7 inch 16:9 aspect ratio, True Tone LCD. iPhone 8 Plus 5.5 inch 16:9 aspect ratio, True Tone LCD. The big news here is twofold. While the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus retain the same sizes and core scheme technology as their predecessor, the iPhone X is Apple's first smartphone to both use OLED and which the longer and the narrower 19.5:9 aspect ratio, widely adopted by Android rival in 2017. Okay, from a visual standpoint, OLED is a far superior to LCD. It delivers a much higher contrast ratio, like 10 lakh versus 10 lakhs gem 1 versus 1400 gem 1, and power saving. It also the highest screen resolution and therefore pixel density of any iPhone, though not quite at the 2880 into 1440 of revivals. The flip side is OLED does pose the risk of burn in overtime, something Apple admits. Okay, and you will see a slight blue tint if you view the display from an angle, notably on white background. So, and don't count on LCD entirely. Apple's LCDs are the best on the market. They don't suffer from burn in, and their more traditionally aspect ratio are better for the wide array of screen filling 16:9 video content. All three new iPhones also support high dynamic range HDR, Dolby Vision, and HDR10 content, which is appearing on iTunes, Netflix, Amazon. So old dogs do learn new tricks. Meanwhile, the iPhone X display has its infamous notch, more which in the next section. Okay, definitely we will see. Okay, design, styles versus substance. If you notice the screen to body ratio in the previous section, the following specification won't be surprised. iPhone X 143.6 into 70.9 into 70.7 mm. iPhone 8 138.4 into 67.3 into 7.3 mm. iPhone 8 Plus 158.4 into 78.1 into 74.5 mm. Yes, the iPhone X manager to fit a 5.8 inch display into chassis closer in size to iPhone 8 than the iPhone 8 Plus. But it's not all good news. In jamming such a big display into the iPhone X, Apple was unable to fit its exciting Face ID technology more in the performance section into the top bezel, resulting in a large cutout notch. This compromises viewing media on the iPhone X. Videos and photos either shrink out of its way or lose a section behind the notch, while web browsing is pushed off center. Okay, whether you think this compromise in substance is worth the futuristic design, a bigger top badge would have avoided it. Likely vary from person to person. Display aside, there are a significant similarity across all three new iPhones. All now have a glass backs to enable wireless charging. That's good. More in the battery life section, which is look great but add a fragility and a cost fortunate to repair. At least the IP67 water and dust resistance, full submersion in up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. Full submersion in a up to 1 meter of water for a 30 minutes, and a rigid series 7000 aluminum in the chassis is maintained. All three also retain the lightning port. Apple is highly unlikely to ever adopt USB-C and stereo speakers, which are roughly 25% louder than the iPhone 7. Though I have found the iPhone X to be slightly louder than iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. Okay. As for colors, the iPhone X comes in just silver and space gray, while the iPhone 8 adds a gold as the third option. I suspect product red limited edition for edition of all three models will appear at some stage. If we talking about performance and class leader, despite their external difference, internally the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone X are the almost identical. How? iPhone X, iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, Apple A1 Bionic cheapest 6-core CPU, 6-core GPU, M11 Motion co-processor, 3GB RAM iPhone X, iPhone 8 Plus, 2GB RAM iPhone 8. Why is the iPhone 8 still receiving less RAM? This is also my question. It comes down to two factors. Driving its lower resolution display is a less demanding, and so is operating it's a single real camera, more in the camera section. As such, for an intent and the purpose is real world performance of the three iPhone is identical. But sorry. But how much faster are these iPhones than what went before? Apple boasts the A11 chipset has a 25% faster CPU and 30% faster GPU graphics than the A10 in the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. But the big news is the A11 is also 70% faster when multitasking. And given we spend all our time jumping between apps, that's a big news. Okay, good. In a synthetic benchmarking, in the synthetic benchmarking terms, no Android smartphone can get close to the A11, even close to the A11. Though the real world performance of the Google Pixel 2 and OnePlus 5T runs them close than the Android. But where the real difference between the iPhone X and the more traditional iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus stand out is a new performance part. Can you guess it? What it is? It's a face ID, facial recognition. That's a good one. Technologically, Face ID is somewhat akin to a cut down Microsoft Kinect as its use an infrared sensor to map and track a subject. In this case, their face rather than a whole body. The result is facial identification, which is leaps and bounds ahead of what has come before, and even work in the dark infrared. Remember, a photo won't fool it since the mapping is three-dimensional and the data is kept securely on your phone, not shared with Apple too. But it is not all a good news. At times, Face ID simply isn't as a convenient as Touch ID, which the iPhone X lacks completely. Since you have to look at your phone every time to unlock it, it's also slower to unlock than Touch ID, and I have found it to be less reliable. It's my personal opinion. Touch ID and Google's Pixel Imprint fingerprint reader remain in a class of their own. It also means you will need to learn gestures to navigate your iPhone X. Oh my god. For example, sweeping up on a virtual home bar takes you to the home screen. Some users will adapt while others will find the transition a deal breaker, like me. As a Face ID is the obvious solution was to include a Touch ID on the back as well. Now, if we are talking about cameras dual versus single plus. Okay, while it is arguable whether the iPhone X Face ID is better than Touch ID on the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, there is a clear hierarchy in the photography. iPhone X, iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 8. The trio are identical in their front and primary rear cameras. The former is a 7 megapixel module with a f2.2 aperture and no optical image stabilization (OIS), while the latter is 12 megapixel, has an f by 1.8 aperture and OIS. Okay. Now, as for the difference, while the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 Plus add a second 12 megapixel telephoto lens for a 2x optical zoom and portrait mode. The iPhone X telephoto lens has a faster aperture and optical image stabilization. This makes it better in a low light. Good one. With the iPhone X, I do argue Apple has overtaken Samsung's Galaxy Note 8 to claim second spot in the smartphone camera leaks. Then again, Google has extended the lead it established with the Pixel 2, particularly in a low light and for a dynamic range. So that remains the go-to option of camera quality is a paramount. If we are talking about the battery life and the charging, let's see. Perhaps the most featuring aspect to all three new iPhone is their battery technology. In terms of pure stamina, iPhone continues to stagnate and the iPhone 8 1821 mAh and iPhone 8 Plus 2675 mAh actually have smaller battery than the iPhone 7 1960 mAh and iPhone 7 Plus 2900 mAh. The iPhone X has a 2716 1716 mAh battery, but its battery life falls closer to the iPhone 8 than iPhone 8 Plus. I cannot great. Countering this, all new iPhones add the aforementioned wireless charging and fast wire charging for the first time November's iOS 11.2. The update increased wireless charging speed from 5 volt to 7.5 volt, but the QI based technology is disappointingly slow compared to Quai's 15 watt top spec. Apple Power is promised later in 2018, which may well add 15 watt, but I suspect it won't be compatible with existing 15 watt quiet wireless chargers like 5 watt and 7.5 watt charging is. As for fast wire charging, this is also double-edged sword, achieving a 50% charge from flat in just 30 minutes complete with a reliable, established fast charging. But remarkably, Apple doesn't include a fast charger in the box. In fact, even the supplied Lightning to USB a cable is incompatible with the Lightning to the USB-C fast charging cable. We are looking at a minimum outlay of $74 before tax for 29 water faster charger and 1 meter cable. Yes, only Apple could get away with this. If we talking about the storage and 388 outlay for a fast charger is going to hurt because these are the most expensive iPhone of all time. Let's see the storage and the price. iPhone X 64 GB around $999. 256 GB around $1,100. iPhone 8 64 GB around $699. 256 GB around $849. iPhone 8 Plus 64 GB around $799. 256 GB around $949. Yes, there are now only two storage option and the iPhone 8 is $50 more expensive than the iPhone 7 when it launched, while the iPhone X hits dizzy new heights. All prices are before tax. Meanwhile, the popular mid-range 128 GB storage option is no more. But the good news is Apple has at least double entry-level storage to 64 GB, and that may well be enough for many owners. If you are looking to save on storage when you can put the money towards a wireless chargers and or fast wired charger. Bottom line, if we see a bottom line, the temptation for everyone will be to buy the iPhone X. It looks far better than the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, whose 4th generation old design are quite frankly state at this point, while it also has a fractionally better camera than the iPhone 8 Plus. Historically, 2017 will also be remembered as the year the iPhone X launched. No one will be remember the other two. So if you can afford the iPhone X, you will enjoy it. But if money is tight, I do suggest the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus are actually more refined phones. iOS is still best suited to navigation with home button, at least until iOS 12. Touch ID is faster and easier than the Face ID, despite being undeniably impressive technology. While the iPhone 8 Plus has a screen that's better for consuming media and web browsing, bigger to the notch, and it has the best battery life as well as all for $200 less. Personally, unless you are the desperate to upgrade, I do suggest waiting. A second generation iPhone X should have a smaller notch, potentially Touch ID under the display, and iPhone X Plus larger model, and the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus will be discounted. Wait. Furthermore, I expect Apple to issue advanced battery technology to reduce annual performance throttling. But as always, the decision is yours. Okay. Thanks to the Forbes, like this data I collect from the Forbes.com, and because nowadays this is a big question. With even like I'm also confused. I was like which phone like I have to buy between the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and the latest one iPhone X. So like I search out let's see this data, like this video definitely help you a lot. So तो अभी आप लोग ये कहेंगे कि भैया तुमने तो पूरा इंग्लिश में बता दिया, ठीक है। अभी तक तो हमने जैसे आगे के वीडियो में वाइन्स देखे या वीडियोस देखे या मूवी रिव्यू देखे, अभी तक हमने सिर्फ और सिर्फ हिंदी में बनाए थे, ठीक है। अब भाई ये जब वीडियो हमने इंग्लिश में इसलिए बनाओ कि भाई आईफोन जो ब्रांड है ना वो यूनिवर्सल है, ठीक है। तो भाई सबको समझने दो भाई, सबको फ़ायदा लेने दो, ठीक है। तो बना दिया हमने इंग्लिश में, ठीक है। अब आप लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगा तो देखियो, अब हम दूसरी बार ट्राई जरूर करेंगे कि आप लोगों के लिए हिंदी में बना के लेकर आए, ठीक है। तो यार भाई हमने तो सब कुछ कर डाला यार, आगे हमने वाइन्स बना लिए, वीडियो बना दिए, हमने 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 मूवी के रिव्यू कर दिए, और ये कुछ टेक्निकल लेकर आ गए आईफोन। क्यों पता है? क्योंकि ये है मिस सेलेनेस सेंगर, हमारी चैनल का नाम है मिस सेलेनेस सेंगर। आगे भी मैं बताते गया हूँ, तो बस अब ज़्यादा और बकवास नहीं करूँगा, ठीक है। बाय बाय, सबा खैर, टेक केयर एंड स्टे ट्यून।